Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to a Punched Out Thursday to Die For. And today I'll be using both punches and dies on my layout. I'm scrapping this picture of my grandkids and one of their cousins on their mom's side, and I'm showing those leaves there. I did them for a layout a couple weeks ago and didn't use them. I did them brown first, and then I added the orange to the rusty hinge to make them more orange. And then I changed my mind and decided to do the layout a complete different way. So I had those extra because they never got used. I'm using Martha Stewart's Punch Around the Page, and I'm using the one that looks oh old old country vintage like eyelet lace. So that because I am going to make a layout that has food on it. It's a restaurant. It's way out in the country. Everybody drives to it. It's that good. And they wait. And that's what my grandkids there are doing is waiting for their turn to eat. And it's all you can eat catfish. I'm going to have a fish on my layout, but I think it's a trout. It's not a catfish, but it is a fish, so I'm using it. I found that scrap and it's the same color as one of the colors in the wood grain in the back. It was one of the paints, where the paint has worn off and they painted over the top and it's faded off and it's beginning to show. I used that color for the plaid. I just dug through my scraps on this. Other than the background paper, everything came out of the scrap box. The papers behind the photo is more to the browns that are right in the middle of the paper. I'm using my creative memory cutter, just one of them. And I'm going to make a circle and then I'm going to use my punch to make the other circle because I'm making a plate and I want the edges to show up, especially the edges of the middle one, so you could tell that it looks more like a plate. And I inked them in peacock feathers. And once I inked the plate, I decided I'd go ahead and ink the napkin, tablecloth. I'm not sure which one it'd be actually. It kind of looks like a napkin, but then you think, well, if it's on a table, it has eyelet lace on the edge. So maybe it's a tablecloth, but it's going to be on my layout. No matter what it is, it's going to be on there. And I'm using the fork, knife, and spoon out of one of close to, no, Stampin' Up's um, die set. And this one has cups and some other stuff too. But all I'm using is the fork, knife, and spoon. And I use gray, a lighter gray cardstock instead of using the silver. My title is Come and Get It. And I use the uh, spellbinders for the large letters, and I did two of each and layered them. And then the smaller ones is the box from Echo Park, one of my favorite ones. And the die set that I'm using there, the fishing pole and the fish, it is Gina Marie Designs. And it had a few more pieces to it, but all I'm using is the fishing pole and the fish. Oh, and the hook. The hook. I'm using the hook too. And I'm layering them. I did the wood grain twice. I did the better wood grain on top. And then I had one that was not as pretty. And I put it on the bottom just in case it showed through. I didn't want to put white. Since I'm not laying it on a white layout, I put another wood grain. And I wasn't as careful cutting the little eyelet things on the background one as I was the top because I knew it wasn't going to show. And I'm making different layers for the handle and the reel that's on there so that it'll, instead of it all being wood grain, I wanted to look like metal and plastic. Well, rubber, maybe rubber. It looks like maybe a rubber grip on there. And so, yeah, I used a metallic paper to do it, but it would be a rubber grip. And then there was a band on the middle of the reel, and I used that same metallic paper. I put my glue down on here and I'm going to let it set so that it can get tacky instead of being as wet when I put my crochet thread on there. And that fish took a little bit longer for me to ink than I would have thought because it has gills that kind of fold out to make it more dimensional. And I wanted to make sure I inked them too. And I could have stopped, I guess, but I was worried about the tackiness, so I just hurried faster and went ahead and put my string on there. But it comes with two fish, and both of them are more dimensional. And I'm putting some of the paper, it's a pattern paper. I thought it kind of looked more like fish scales and stuff if I had pattern paper. So I put a piece behind the gills that I'm going to fold up, and then I wasn't very creative on the eye. All I did was punch out a little piece of black, and I'm going to have a black eye. But I thought about using a different color, but then I thought, well, the black would show up real good, and I think it'll look okay anyhow. My fishing pole, I'm putting foam tape behind the handle, just the handle, and then the reel is going to be on the edge of the photo so that it, you know, is even there. I thought about moving it over just a little bit, but I really didn't leave myself much room over there. I left a little, knowing I was planning on putting the reel, rod and reel there, but I could have left just a little bit more, I think. I've got the crochet thread threaded through there, which really isn't threaded through there. And then I've got it going across the page, and the hook has a little eyelet on it. So I was able to thread my crochet thread through the eye of the hook, and then I put my fish on foam tape. And yeah, he's the only green thing on there, but I'd seen that in the scraps. Oh, I think it'll be really good for the fish. And when you look at the close-ups, maybe you'll think so too. Because, yeah, I thought that really, and you know what? I have done that fish, tried it several times painting it and using pencils to color it as a rainbow trout, and wasn't happy really with any of them. I like this one a lot better than the others that I worked a lot harder on. Um, I'm putting the leaves on there, and I thought I'd have them in 3 different places and one of each of the leaves. And those are the biggest ones on the Tim Holtz fall foliage. I think that one's called. I think that's what it's called. And I put one of each in each one of the clusters. That heart, I punched it out of the heart punch with some craft cardstock, and then I glued it and made sure, you've got to make sure you glue all the way to the edge if you do that, and then put the burlap on top because you don't want it to fray. I could have just cut the heart out of the burlap, but I really didn't want it to fray. I wanted it to look like a heart when I got done. And so I smoothed it out with my finger and put the burlap down. But that was left over from another layout too. And look at me, I am done with my layout. I've been talking and not paying attention, and yeah, I am done with my layout. But make sure y'all look down there below to see the links to everyone else that is doing a Punched Out Thursday to die for, and see if they use dies or punches or both like I did. And there's my, I guess I thought I needed that picture in there twice from the looks of it. But yeah, there's my fork, knife, and spoon, and I kind of covered the spoon up more than I thought. I'm a little on the short side. I knew I was covering a little bit. I didn't know till I was editing the video how much I did, because I guess I just didn't look at it good enough. I used papaya punch maybe from Spiegelmom Mom Scraps and sprinkled them around the page. And I even put some around the fish because I thought, they'd sparkle like droplets of water on the fish. And I put them in the leaves, of course, because I like sequins in the leaves. I like adding that bit of sparkle. But if you leave a comment below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. But I hope y'all have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.